So first off, our recruiter.com recruiter index declined from 3.5 to 3.2 in terms of overall recruiter sentiment. The most interesting in terms of the overall labor slowdown, as we're talking about it, is that we track how many open roles the recruiters in the survey are working on. Last month, they were working on 22 roles, and that dropped to 16 in the June recruiter index. So a 27% decline in the number of roles that they're actually working on, which tells us that there's certainly a slow up in the hiring. Now, on the good side, we actually thought a bunch of months ago that the companies were overhiring, and we reported that on CNBC, that companies were really stocking up on employees in terms of the overall supply chain. So I think we're seeing a correcting going on in terms of companies themselves, in terms of their overall hiring, but certainly a little bit of a slow up.
One side note that's not a side note for a lot of people is a big slowdown in remote hiring and work. Is that right?
Yeah, we saw that. We saw that really the in-person are really picking up again, but also compensation's up in terms of the reason that people are both leaving jobs and the reason that people are taking jobs. So we're starting to saying, hey, look, I think a recession might be coming. Let's go find some more money to put into my pocket on a monthly basis.
And in a weird way, the people's concern about recession could add to inflation expectations, which would make the Fed more hawkish, even though it's for the, see what I'm saying here. I'm wondering, if we look at momentum, you're saying basically we're slowing from an overheated market to how would you describe it now? A healthy one, a strong one, a weak one? What is it?
Yeah, I would say there are these two competing challenges that are happening, right? On the one hand, we have almost two open jobs for every person that's unemployed, right? So we have this incredible need to get people back into the labor market in terms of W-2 full-time jobs. At the same time, we have a tightness of talent tech. We're seeing that did not grow at all. That still remains the number one industry for the recruiters in the recruiter index, but it's flat from May to June. Interesting, we saw sales roles actually pick up by about 9% from May to June. So we're certainly seeing areas where there's growth. Obviously, talented tech is still going to be an area. Sales, healthcare, we're all up month over month in terms of those roles themselves. But still, how do we change the dynamic that we get these 1 million plus open roles filled? And a lot of them are in the higher volume oriented roles, the hospitality, the retail, et cetera.
Does this report tell you we're going into recession?
No, it doesn't. It tells us that companies are being more careful in terms of hiring. Look, 4.1 million people quit in May, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics numbers. They're still quitting. We're seeing that the candidates that the recruiters are interviewing, some 21% of them have had 3 jobs. So 21% of the recruiters reported that the candidates had 3 jobs in the last year.
Wow.
Really incredible. 44% reported that they had 2 jobs in the past year.
Wow.
So job mobility is going to continue. People are going to chase the jobs that are having more compensation. And I think companies need to better align how many roles they're attriting and how many they're hiring on a monthly basis. And again, I think there was a lot of overhiring that happened earlier on in the year, and that's really what we're seeing.
That's so interesting. And I guess the sort of point is we are seeing an uptick in layoff announcements and such, but you think labor, to quote Annetta Markowska of Jefferies from yesterday, you think labor is still firmly in the driver's seat?
Yeah, absolutely. I think talented labor, we say this all the time, everyone who wants a job is more valuable today than they were 2 years ago. From the waiter to the factory worker to the Java developer, everyone's more valuable because there's someone that wants to pay them more money. And we're seeing the wage inflation. And what was stopping people from leaving jobs was really what you just showed a second ago, this job mobility. Job mobility means that I don't have to stay in a job 4 years, 5 years anymore, like our grandparents told us we have to do. I could leave jobs much faster. There was a recent survey where I think by PwC that showed 25% or 20 to 25% of the people in their survey were planning to leave their job in 22. Now, this was not a survey done a year ago. This was done, a few months ago. So still in this looming recession, people are quitting their jobs to find better jobs.
Yeah, it's a fascinating and timely read. We thank you so much for bringing it to us each month, Evan.
Thanks so much, Kelly.
Evan Sohn with Recruiter.com.